Oh my God, stop.
You like the grudge? There you go. Good. 8. Come on. 8, 9, 9, not 10 times. 8, last 4. 9. Right. 8, 5. You got it. 4. Go. 14 times. Go. Good. 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 Good.
I'll tell you what I can't fucking wait for is Khamzat versus Strickland. Let's fucking go.
That's really happening?
In New Jersey.
Yeah.
In New Jersey,
Damn.
Joey.
Yeah.
Damn,
That's a motherfucking fight.
That's a Super
great
Bowl
fight.
right there,
That's
dude.
Dude, the press conferences,
Bro.
So you know how the UFC makes them do, like Paramount makes them do face-offs like 3 times before the fight? They fly in on Tuesday. They have them face off with the lights. You can't do that with those.
Imagine the shit talk.
you can't do it.
Strickland
You
is
can't
gonna-
do it.
And Paramount, you know, they're in suits. Like, I don't see why not. It's like, well, because they're going to kill each other.
Yeah, you can't do that.
He called him a terrorist. We can't have
You call him a
this.
goat fucker.
Yeah, it's
Damn.
can't have it.
Damn.
Can't have it.
Bro,
I love
how
Strickland.
good did he look against Fluffy?
Before that fight, I'm like, man, Strickland will probably get fucked up by Khamzat. Then the shape I saw him in, I was like, motherfucker, he
Tremendous.
looks great.
Well, in terms of words, yeah, I'm not too worried about that. Khamzat's in, but his physical presence.
Yeah, and that too, and that too.
Short temper, like that.
And that
like,
too.
could explode, and that's it.
Yeah, and that too is like Chimaev might like you know Sean's gonna say some crazy wild stuff, and then he's gonna leave it at that, and he's gonna wait for the fight. But you just don't know what Chimaev and his people might do if they're like truly offended, or what we might say or do if they're truly offended.
Yeah. Is that the right approach for Sean though, right? Like, do you want to try to get Khamzat emotional and angry and maybe fight a little different, or is giving this guy any slice of extra motivation like a terrifying thought maybe not a good idea?
I don't know if I would go that route. I would just, I would kind of maybe focus on my game and maybe not see if I can't rile this guy up anymore. Because you just, like I said, man, you never know, man. You never know, man.
You can't trust where his head's at right now. The temperature is spiking in Khamzat Chimaev's training camp as he pushes himself to the absolute brink, leaving everything on the mat for what could be the defining fight of his career against Sean Strickland. And make no mistake, this clash has the entire MMA world glued to the edge of their seats. Analysts are split right down the middle. One side is all in on Chimaev's freakish power and suffocating grappling, while the other side swears by Strickland's granite chin and that non-stop, soul-crushing pressure he brings for 5 full rounds. But here's the truth. When these two finally lock eyes in the octagon, this isn't just another fight on the card. This is straight-up war, the kind people will still be breaking down years from now.
Sucks for Curtis, right? I think it was just a bad matchup. Really couldn't get nothing going, no striking going. I am happy that Strickland was in his corner, though, so he could get like a sneak peek of what's going to happen to him against Chimaev. That fight was just announced this week. Sucks for Imavov. You got to feel for him. I thought he earned a title shot. I thought that he was going to get the title shot, but I think the trash talk and the stupidity and the era we live in now, where Strickland talked his way into a title shot, and it's going to get people to want to talk, people to want to view, especially with Chimaev. They're going to go back and forth. The thing I'm excited for is to see Chimaev smash him and walk through him. I think that's what it's going to be. I think he's going to be able to take him down, control him, and I'm hoping that cut him open a little bit, let him bleed a little bit, and then break him mentally and tap him out. For Imavov, I don't know if he's going to be the backup, if he's going to wait, if he's going to take another fight, but I think after Chimaev wins this one, I think he'll go up to 205. And then I think that'll leave an opening at 185 for a title. So be patient, Imavov.
Joe Rogan and his panel dove deep into what makes this matchup so addictive. The real hook. Strickland is almost definitely getting taken down at some point. Chimaev's wrestling is on another planet. But that's exactly where it gets fascinating. The big question everyone's dying to know, What happens after that first takedown? Strickland's proven he can pop right back up. His cardio only gets meaner in the championship rounds, and that sneaky, unpredictable striking can flip the script in a heartbeat. On the flip side, Chimaev's got legitimate knockout power on the feet, but the real debate is whether he sticks to his dominant wrestling blueprint or risks standing toe-to-toe with a high-volume pressure fighter like Strickland, who throws the kitchen sink every single second.
And Joe, the mystery of that fight is Strickland's going to get taken down. That's going to happen. He'll get taken down. But he's so well versed on getting up in his cardio. That third, fourth, and fifth round, if he keeps getting up, defend the submissions, that's when it gets interesting.
He's also so hard to hit. He's so hard to hit. He does so many sneaky things on the feet that people don't see coming.
Keeps coming.
Yep.
Keeps coming.
Yeah, no way Khamzat's gonna fucking stand with him. He's gonna try to take him down. No way.
Keeps teeping you. Yeah. Khamzat can strike too, though. Did you see the video of Khamzat striking with Khalil?
No,
he's no
totally.
punk.
But you think that's the best strategy for Khamzat? No way.
No, the best
because
strategy
Strickland could fucking
drag him to the ground.
He's got great striking. Why would you take a chance?
The only thing that would make sense is if he wanted to make up for the last fight where a lot of people thought it was boring when he won against Strickland.
Because he didn't look for a finish.
Dude,
So
if
he
he-
just
if he-
comes out and tries to
Dude, if
blast
he tries to
Strickland
stand
out.
with Strickland, dude, he's fucked.
But here's why he can try to stand with Strickland, because he's not a knockout artist. Like, he's a volume puncher, like a Nate Diaz. It's a lot of volume. So even if you do stand with him and you get pieced up, he's not really.
Dan Thomas cut through the noise and nailed exactly why this fight is blowing up across the MMA community. Sure, expectations are all over the place once the cage door shuts, and some fans are already eyeing other matchups. But this one came out of nowhere. Nobody saw it coming, and that raw, unmanufactured intrigue is impossible to fake. Especially with Strickland fresh off one of the sharpest performances of his career. He looked like one of the very few middleweights who can actually test Chimaev and maybe even expose cracks. This isn't about guaranteed fireworks. It's about pure unpredictability and sky-high stakes that have everyone holding their breath.
The fight, because some people may say that they don't have high expectations for the fight, but the build will be incredible.
Yeah, in terms of what the fight might actually look like, it's not the best for me of what it actually might look like. I think in terms of what the best fight might look like in all these fights is Ilya Gaethje. But this fight, there's so much involved in it. One, why it interests me the most is because I didn't expect it to happen so soon. It was like you didn't hear from Chimaev. Everybody's talking about how he weighs like 400 pounds. Like you don't know where he's at, and the next thing you know, they're like, "Yo, Chimaev's fighting Sean Strickland." You know, in a couple months, you're like, "What?" Like, so it just, to me, it kind of came out of nowhere. And so, like, that's one. I didn't expect it. Two, Sean looked so good in his last fight that I believe that he's capable of beating Chimaev, and he might be the only middleweight on the planet right now that's capable of beating Chimaev.
Dan Thomas kept peeling back the layers, and what makes this fight special goes way beyond skills and technique. It's the real belief, the real tension. Most contenders just can't match Chimaev's unique toolkit, but Strickland's razor-sharp form from his last fight makes him a legitimate threat if he carries that momentum into the octagon. And here's the extra spice. These two actually trained together in the same gym before the rivalry kicked off. You can feel the genuine dislike in every interview and stare down. This doesn't smell like UFC manufactured hype. It feels like a personal war that's been simmering for years and is finally ready to explode in the most brutal way possible.
You know, if we had Nasruddin, for as great as he is, like, I just didn't, in my head, I couldn't see it happening. But I can see Sean Strickland doing it. Like, he looked sharp as hell in his last fight. He looked amazing in his last fight. If he can carry that over into this fight, he might beat Chimaev. So, like, to me, that's intriguing to me. Also, what's intriguing to me is they have history. And that's partially one of the biggest factors that makes any fight interesting is history between the guys. They have history. They've trained together before. And they don't like each other. And when you consider that they might not like each other, it's probably somewhat real. Like, a lot of guys fabricate the beef so that they can, sell it, or we're just trying to sell a fight. But you can tell that these guys probably don't really care for each other.
That's what has me, and everyone else, so locked in. Dan Thomas then zeroed in on the real psychological landmine in this matchup. Strickland is famous for pushing buttons with his mouth, trash talk in pressers and on social media, but he usually keeps it just controlled enough. Chimaev is wired differently. Way more explosive, way more unpredictable. Poke that bear too hard and it could backfire in a violent way, turning an already dangerous fight into something even uglier. So Thomas is asking the smart question. Is it even wise for Strickland to play these mind games, or should he stay ice cold, lock in on his game plan, and not give an already fired up Chimaev extra fuel to come in and make a violent statement?
Well, in terms of words, I'm not too worried about that, Khamzat saying, but his physical presence.
Yeah, and that too, and that too.
Short temper like that.
And that too
could explode, and that's
yeah, and that too is like Chimaev might Sean's going to say some crazy wild stuff, and then he's going to leave it at that, and he's going to wait for the fight. But you just don't know what Chimaev and his people might do if they're like truly offended, or what we might say or do if they're truly offended.
Yeah. Is that the right approach for Sean though, right? Like, do you want to try to get Khamzat emotional and angry and maybe fight a little different, or is giving this guy any slice of extra motivation like a terrifying thought and maybe not a good idea?
I don't know if I would go that route. I would just, I would kind of maybe focus on my game and maybe not see if I can't rile this guy up anymore. Because you just, like I said, man, you never know, man. You never know, man. You can't.
Fighters keep throwing gasoline on this fire. Belal Muhammad didn't sugarcoat a single word. He's actually glad Strickland was in Curtis Blade's corner for that fight because it gave him a front row preview of exactly what Chimaev is about to do to him. He ripped the trash talk game, saying it's gotten Strickland further than his actual fighting has, and laid it out plain. Chimaev is walking Strickland down like prey, breaking him mentally first, then physically, and finishing with a submission in a one-sided beatdown that won't even be close. If Belal's right, this competitive fight turns into a statement performance that flips the entire middleweight division upside down and puts every contender on notice.
Sucks for Curtis, right? I think it was just a bad matchup. Really couldn't get nothing going, no striking going. I am happy that Strickland was in his corner though, so he could get like a sneak peek of what's gonna happen to him against Chimaev. That fight was just announced this week. Sucks for Imavov. You got to feel for him. I thought he earned a title shot. I thought that he was going to get the title shot. But I think the trash talk and the stupidity and the era we live in now, where Strickland talks his way into a title shot, and it's going to get people to want to talk, people to want to view, especially with Chimaev. They're going to go back and forth. The only thing I'm excited for is to see Chimaev smash him and walk through him. I think that's what it's going to be. I think he's going to be able to take him down, control him, and I'm hoping that cut him open a little bit, let him bleed a little bit, and then break him mentally and tap him out. For Mavov, I don't know if he's going to be the backup, if he's going to wait, if he's going to take another fight, but I think after Chimaev wins this one, I think he'll go up to 205. And then I think that'll leave an opening at 185 for a title, so be patient, Mavov.
Chael Sonnen dropped his usual no BS wisdom on the only question that matters right now. Who can actually test Khamzat Chimaev at this stage of his career? Forget rankings and resumes. You need the exact skill set to shut down those devastating takedowns that have steamrolled everyone else. Sonnen says Strickland has exactly those tools. He's the right guy to stretch Chimaev's entire game. The 6-to-1 betting odds in Chimaev's favor? Sonnen thinks that's actually surprising. If Strickland stuffs the takedowns and brings that relentless pressure striking, we might finally see Chimaev forced to empty the whole toolbox for 5 full rounds, and that's what the entire sport is dying to watch.
The big question when you're fighting Chimaev, like before we get into resumes, who's ranked, who should be there, when we come down to what's the guy that possesses the skill set where we can close our eyes and make believe that Chimaev could get beat, we have to first be able to convince ourselves that that guy possesses superior takedown defense to the excellent offense takedown abilities of Chimaev. I think Strickland's that guy. I think they found the right guy. 6-to-1 surprises me.
On the other side, Michael MVP Page lit up Chimaev's ferocity, calling him a next-level athlete who's damn near impossible to solve for anyone in the division. He straight up questioned whether Strickland even belongs in there with him and floated that someone like Dricus du Plessis might have been a more fitting test. MVP made it crystal clear, Chimaev isn't just climbing the ladder hoping for a title shot. He's operating on a completely different level. Anyone who steps in the cage with him is signing up for a brutal examination of will, skill, and heart. This fight could prove once and for all just how unstoppable Chimaev has become, and cement him as the scariest man in middleweight.
Just from the outside looking in, I feel like Imavov deserved the fight, and that's the fight we should be talking about right now. But I've had the pleasure of seeing Chimaev in the gym, you know, working very closely with him, and that guy is a monster. Yeah, he's not normal. And it's I always say it's nice to see someone that is, you know, high, that is very high level in a slightly different area, and I'm watching him, and it was beautiful to watch. Beautiful to watch. So yeah, seeing it up close and personal. Obviously seeing it in the fights, but seeing it up close and personal, he's going to be a tough person to beat.
Kamaru Usman, one of the most respected voices in the game, added a fresh layer most people are missing. Chimaev is insanely gifted, but we still haven't seen him put together a truly complete performance where he had to show every single weapon in his arsenal. Usman believes Strickland might be the first guy to actually challenge those dominant wrestling and grappling strengths, potentially forcing Chimaev to reveal his striking, his deep round cardio, and his ability to make adjustments on the fly. If Strickland can drag him into deep waters we've never seen before, we're finally going to find out exactly how versatile and dangerous Chimaev really is when everything is on the line. That's what makes this one of the most intriguing, unpredictable fights in recent memory.
Khamzat Chimaev is one of those guys to where we know is a very, very special guy. He has the ability to do these great things, but at the same time, we're still waiting for a complete performance, because it's almost like he uses one skill, and he's so dominant that he's able to still dominate and win these fights, to where we're still kind of waiting for that one guy that's going to stop that one dominant thing that he does, and then we see all of his arsenal. And I've said Khamzat is talented enough to where he has all the weapons. It just is needing that guy, that dance partner, to make him have to use him and bring him all out. And I think this could be the fight right here. If Sean Strickland is able to stop Khamzat Chimaev from taking him down, then Khamzat has to stand with him. And that's where you're potentially going to see all of Khamzat's arsenal. The striking, the kicks, the punches, all of that. That's where you get to see it. Or maybe Sean Strickland takes over and really dominates this fight and breaks it wide open. But I'm excited for it.
Henry Cejudo built on that point and dropped a reality check. This fight could honestly go either way. Don't treat it like a done deal. Chimaev's explosive early bursts can end things in seconds with those aggressive rushes and vicious grappling. But if Strickland survives the first wave, makes real-time adjustments, and stays composed under that insane pressure, he could neutralize the early storm and force Chimaev to show every part of his game for 5 rounds. Aljamain Sterling added that it might even go to the judges' scorecards, with Chimaev winning by grinding out ground control while Strickland's durability and tactical striking keep the knockout threat at bay. The key: Chimaev closing distance cleanly, avoiding damage, and imposing his grappling masterclass. The stage is set for an absolute show stealer. Experts are dead split, some riding Chimaev's wrecking ball style, others betting on Strickland's toughness and takedown defense to shock the world. So tell me in the comments, who's walking out with a W when that cage door slams shut? Drop your prediction below, smash subscribe for more breakdowns like this, and let's talk about the biggest fights in combat sports.